Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast. It's Monday, which means only one thing. It's Monday Mashup, where we bring you a review of all the weekend's Premier League action. We talk about all the big talking points coming out of it. It's Ballon d'Or night as well. Who's going to pick up the Ballon d'Or? Mo Salah in 11th. That kind of killed my buzz this evening, hearing that now. That was really bad. Really, really poor. But let me know your thoughts on the Ballon d'Or as well and what you think about it and stuff like that. But before we get into the show, let's have a little talk about our sponsors for the Monday mashup this season. Is Hogan Elite Trophy here, ran by our resident referee Mark, of course. He has all these fabulous trophies here. Some of them you see behind me and stuff like that, and all. But he rents these out and he gives them out as well for charity events and all that kind of stuff. So if you have that special occasion, a birthday party, he's done birthday parties, he's done weddings, I think he's even done funerals as far as I know. Charity events, all that kind of stuff, whatever it is. Marky will sort you out. Hogan Elite Trophy here. You'll find them on Instagram, they're on Facebook, all the socials out there and stuff like that. So if you need that special trophy for that special occasion, and I have to say, being witness to these things at a number of events and stuff like that, Mark last week was at a brilliant event. Man United legends Dennis Irwin was there and Clayton Blackmore, I think. And Mark was just supping points with Dennis Irwin most of the evening, stuff like that. Dennis did a little short for the channel as well. You've seen it in the shorts. Great guy, Dennis Irwin. What a player Dennis Irwin was, huh? Yeah, Hogan Elite Trophy here. They're the sponsors this season for the Monday mashup. So check them out. Make sure you go over, give them all your love and support and everything else. And Marky will look after you. Let's get into the chat. Stephen's in. Stephen, how you doing, man? Up the hammers, absolutely. Warren's in. Warren, it's been a moment. We haven't spoken a while now. We were speaking on the daily. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hi, Niall. I hope you are well. I am, my friend. I'm doing good. Does he do a rubber ducky trophy? Ian's in. What's the crack, Niall? And Warren's back. Does he do a rubber ducky trophy? Listen, he'll do any trophy you want. He has Sam Maguire. He was talking about getting a Ryder Cup one and a British Open one. He's covering everything. So whatever you need, if you need one, all good. But Warren, hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you, man. Eddie and Keddy on fire against the top club. Morris now. Easy, easy. I was glad to hear that he did well though. I was happy to hear that he was scoring and stuff like that. I did put up a thing. I think I put up a thing on Twitter. Eddie and Keddy is silencing the haters for one game only, or something like that. So it's good fun. But yeah, big win for the Arsenal. Looking well, and some big decisions there the other day. A lot of players rested and stuff like that, and also, yeah, absolutely good to see. We will be also bringing you a Carabao Cup preview as well. Some interesting comments from Craig Burley on ESPN FC about the Ballon d'Or in relation to Haaland and stuff like that. Let me know your thoughts in the chat on that and on the Ballon d'Or and stuff like that. To me, it just has Messi written all over it one more time, doesn't it? Not that I necessarily agree with it. Myself and Darren sort of are of the same opinion that maybe Rodri should win it. But no one's talking either about Julian Alvarez. And if you think about Julian Alvarez, like if you think about all the conversation as being Messi and Haaland, and you look at those two there, and you've got Messi with winning the World Cup and everything, unbelievable and stuff like that. You've got Haaland with everything he did last season, unbelievable amount of goals, winning the treble and stuff like that. But somewhere in the middle here, you have Julian Alvarez, who won a World Cup and was heavily involved, and also won the treble with Man City and was involved in that as well. Why isn't anyone talking about Julian Alvarez, who did both? He's like the love child of Erling Haaland and Messi at the moment in this Ballon d'Or mix. And I think Rodri should be spoke about a lot more. The talk when you think about how important Rodri is, and we've seen it over the last few weeks when he was suspended. The difference it made to City when he came back. Look at City now when he's back in the fold and stuff like that. So it goes to show you just how pivotal Rodri is to that Man City side. Jurgen's thinking about putting in a cheeky bid for Eddie. Stop now, Warren. Where'd you read that? Warren, I know I've heard you talking about Eddie and Keddy. You would drive him to Anfield if that was the case. Daz is in. Well, what do you think Jamie said he's doing a watch along on Wednesday? Yeah, cool. Yeah, absolutely sounds good. Well, what do you think? Jamie said he's doing a watch along on Wednesday. Yeah, that's good. That'll be a cracking game as well. Bournemouth after finding a bit of form at the weekend. What a goal from Billing, but we're going to be talking about VAR. Once again, folks, we're going to be talking about VAR. Most of the women can't go to the awards show because it's an international window. Not great timing. Think Kai Havertz will Pep a bit messy to it. Good Lord. Mark, you never look better. It must be the John Cena vibes. I can't see you. Marky isn't here tonight. Marky is holidaying in Blackpool, no less. He was at the Blackpool game there the other day and all, and he was sending me pictures from Blackpool Beach and all that kind of stuff. He's having a great time. So he'll be back next week. Don't worry about that, folks. So, what did we make of the weekend, lads and lasses? What did we make of the weekend? Let's start. We're going to talk Palace versus Spurs. Came to us on Friday night. Spurs out of the blocks early, laying down a marker. Really, really interesting. Joel Ward, of course, on 53 with an OG. Always look so weird, don't they? The defenders when they're facing their own goal just always look so awkward, nearly like they've never played football. Son with a cracking goal, the assistant Brennan Johnson as well on 66 made it 2-0. Jordan Ayew popped up with a lovely goal. Joachim Anderson with the assist as well to make it 2-1, laid on down the 94th minute, and then it took 2 minutes then. They thought they only had 2 minutes, but it lagged on to 90 plus 10 basically. There was a player down injured as far as you know, which added into some of the time. And also they were checking out that Jordan Ayew goal as well. VAR again dragging their back ass on these things and stuff like that. But that was a big win for Spurs, taking them to the top of the table with 26, maintaining their position, stuff like that, but opening up the gap until people played on Saturday. But nonetheless a big win for them. Under a little bit of pressure towards the death, but seeing it out. Next up was Chelsea-Brentford. Chelsea absolutely battered Brentford here first half. Just couldn't simply put the ball in the back of the net. It was absolutely crazy. Then up step just after half time, 58 minutes, Pinnock with a goal. Unbelievable. Pinnock with a goal. 1-0, and Brian Mbeumo with the assist. And then laid on 96 minute, Brian Mbeumo with the goal and Niall and Maupay with the assist. Brentford winning 2-0. I think that's 3 wins for Brentford, isn't it? Morris was sending me one earlier. Morris, what was that stat you sent me earlier? Brentford with 3 wins at the bridge or something like that. Absolutely crazy. Stephen's in. How are you? West Ham versus Arsenal Wednesday. Yeah, we're playing Bournemouth. So that should be interesting. Mark on the Raz with Stephen Regal. Yeah, possibly, yeah. Bleeding hay far, yeah. It's crazy, isn't it, Stephen? Just crazy, crazy stuff. So big win for Brentford. Wheels off at Chelsea again. Doing everything bar scoring, weren't they? I mean, Chelsea could have went 3-0 up. Could have been 3-0 at half time easily. Just can't put the ball in the back of the net. Michael Jackson's Thriller wasn't enough for Poch this Halloween weekend, yeah. Absolutely. And Morris, Brentford more wins than Chelsea at the bridge since April. That's scary, isn't it? Let that sink in. They're going to have to stick with them, though. They're going to have to wade through this. Doesn't matter what they think or how toxic it gets. I heard Chelsea fans today going absolutely ballistic, but they're just going to have to grin and bear it, basically. Arsenal versus Sheffield United. Arsenal went on a mad one, winning 5-0. 3 goals from Eddie Nketiah, an assist from Declan Rice, an assist from Emile Smith-Rowe. Made it 3-0. Eddie with one in the middle as well, making it 2-3-0. Then 4-0. Fabio Vieira with a goal, no less. And then an unlikely goal from a man who's banging form at the moment, a man that a lot of the Arsenal fan base had wrote off. Tomiyasu pops up with goal number 5. Massive win on 96 minutes. Brilliant day at the office for Arsenal. Got the opportunity to rest a number of players as well. Saka was taken off as well, but again, they're pouring a lot of minutes into him and stuff like that, aren't they, still? And that's the only thing I would be concerned about. But Arsenal flying high, back to form, big 5-0 win. I know it was at the Emirates, I know it was against Sheffield United, who have been somewhat resilient. Remember, it took Spurs 98 minutes to score a goal to beat Sheffield United not just a few weeks ago. So that's a big win for Arsenal at the Emirates, 5-0. All that goal difference, all that good as well. Next up, we have Bournemouth versus Burnley. This is the madness of this. Also, we will talk about VAR. We'll talk about Sterling should have had a penalty on that push and all that kind of stuff. But Charlie Taylor taking the lead early. The assist from our own Darragh O'Shea. Big assist there. 1-0. 22 minutes then. Semenyo makes it 1-1. Josh Cullen then getting booked on 28. Billing making it 2-1. Did you see this lob? This lob was absolutely incredible. And then Jay Rodriguez laid on, had a goal disallowed. Took 6 minutes. Now, it looked fairly obvious offside to me. It took them 6 minutes to declare it being offside. VAR, absolutely shocking. But a huge win there for Bournemouth. Poor results again from Burnley. I listened to Vincent Kompany after the game and all. He was quite chewed off about VAR and stuff like that. Really fed up and stuff. The evening game then was Wolves versus Newcastle. Absolute cracker of a game. Callum Wilson scoring on 22. And then Lamina, Pedro Neto getting the assist. Pedro Neto picking up a hamstring injury as well. Probably gone till the new year. Not great, but Lamina getting the assist 1-0. Callum Wilson then with a dubious penalty to make it 2-1. For me, no way it was a penalty. Hwang with the tackle there, but pulled out of it. There wasn't that much contact there and stuff like that. So I thought it was a stretch of a penalty. And I know Gary O'Neill was very fed up after the game as well. And even this was on the stroke of half time as well. He was going absolutely ballistic, but there was no way for me it was a penalty. Really poor decision. Wang makes up for it then on 71, making it 2-2. The assist from Gomez, Toddy. And then it ran out 2-2 till the 96th minute. Sean Longstaff getting booked in the 96th minute. 2-2. Probably, I would say, a fair result. Wolves looked on the front foot towards the end and stuff like that. Newcastle under a bit of pressure. Newcastle dominant kind of in the early stages. But Wolves under Gary O'Neill starting to kind of straighten out, I would say. But that was a really poor penalty decision. I don't know what VAR looked at. It was just really poor. But, big point there for Wolves. Newcastle will be a bit disappointed. A little bit. They needed a bit more. Let's see. Stephen. Chelsea don't have a consistent goal scorer. Absolutely. They've no front man at all. Jackson is not the answer. Madueke is not the answer. Sterling is blunt at times. Yeah, I don't know. They're gonna have to go into the market and they're gonna have to get someone. They're gonna have to, and they definitely need to do it in January as well. Morris, who do you play? Daz wants to know, Morris, who you play at the weekend, Arsenal. Newcastle, the Pretenders. Oh, that should be an interesting one. Looking forward to that. I'm glad to see ESR back. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Warren, I would say, he had a huge ceiling of potential, doesn't he? Just needs to try and stay fit and stuff like that. And obviously needs game time as well. So it's really important that Arteta looks at that situation. But heck of a talent. See the FAI wished happy birthday to Kenny today. Most embarrassing tweet of the year. Company, what a chancer. Do you think, Morris? Do you? It's a bit harsh, isn't it? Just a tad bit harsh, no? Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe. It's 100% free and top quality each and every time. Also, please do not forget to share this show with as many people as possible. Big up, Warren. Really appreciate that. And make sure while you're doing that as well, pop off if you get a chance and hit up Warren's Team Talk as well and do the exact same thing. And GP Production Podcast and any other channel in there on the chat as well. Make sure you're supporting them all. Really important. Unfortunately, yes, our body isn't the best. That's the problem, isn't it? That's the problem. It reminds me a little bit, Morris. It reminds me of Jack Wilshere as well, doesn't he? Jack Wilshere could have been. Imagine the baller Jack Wilshere would have been if he could have stayed fit. What a player he was. 4 points out of 30, not harsh, pal. I know. I was only winding you up. I said it to Darren the other day. We were talking, was it on Thursday Tier Talk, or were we just talking on WhatsApp? And we were saying Vincent Company should be very concerned about his job. I think, you know what, they're not pulling the trigger on that at the moment because everything down there is quite tight and they're waiting to see what's going to come out of this Everton situation, which could really change everything. Oisin's in. Hey, Noel. Met Mox, he was lovely. Oh, cool. Brilliant to hear that. Glad you got to meet him. I heard that he had showed up and all. He was in Wolverhampton as well, so that's pretty cool. Heard himself and Barty had a real good match as well. Heard it wasn't too much PG though, but I heard it was good. The manager said no personalisation, and Mox said, "Nah, I'll do it." Love it. That's what I want to hear, isn't it? That's what I want to hear. Love that. Good man, Mox. And he asked me my name and personalised my belt for me. That's brilliant. Those are the memories, O'Shane, aren't they? Those are the memories. Unfortunately, though, his brain damage is clear as he signed the belt upside down. Jesus. Oh, but I'm delighted anyway. That doesn't matter. Look, it's all about the memories and stuff like that. But don't forget, folks. 8 o'clock, is it? 8 o'clock on Wednesday. Pro Wrestling Weekly. We will be back to talking about all the latest stuff. We'll also have a quick chat, of course, about Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. My God, football, fellas. Shane, Kendall was dead sound too. Signed my AEW belt for free. And Powell's too sweet. Awesome. That's what you want to hear, isn't it? Warren, I do not think injuries at Arsenal are all the same. At Arsenal, nothing is ever quite what it seems. Yeah, absolutely. That's always the case, isn't it? Stop with the wrestling talk. Oh, the bouncer's in. The head doorman is in tonight. Sort that out. Taker would have charged you 500 to say your name, O'Shane. Yeah, absolutely. And $1,000 if you wanted a point with him. Fact Taker is very expensive. He's a rip. Right, let's get into Sunday. Sunday, we're going to talk about West Ham. Stephen, if you're here, West Ham versus Everton. Tell me what happened. I didn't see the game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin with the only goal of the game on 51 minutes. Jack Harrison with the assist. Let me know what happened. Where did it all go wrong? What was the stats like on this game, actually, folks? 2-6. What did they have? 12 shots. Shocking, was it? Possession. So you had the possession 63-37. Or were they countering you a lot? Looks like they were countering you a lot looking at the offsides. They had what, 10 shots as well. You had 2 more shots than them. Yeah, that seems very blunt, doesn't it? Yeah, Stephen, not good. Not good. Not good at all, I would say. All of the Everton players were in their own box. No surprise. Should you have expected any different? Should you have expected any different, in fairness? They're such a weird team. Tell me about it. Been saying that for a decade. And then you see the way they play like that as well. And then you put that layer of Sean Dyche on top of that as well. Just imagine what's coming out with. Yeah, we just couldn't break them down. I know I've been there. Look at the amount of times Liverpool goes through that when they're playing that 10-man or that low block and stuff like that. It's tough. Daz, Taker and Vince were at the arena on Saturday for the boxing night. Now, yeah, have it up as the thumbnail. It's up as the thumbnail for the show on Wednesday, Daz. Gonna be interesting. We're gonna be talking about it. Any thoughts about that Tyson Fury fight? I am furious with him. Yeah. I think Ngannou won. But I think they keep Tyson in there because he's the guy. He avoids a lot of the big fights, because he's their moneymaker at the moment. And I think that's what the problem is with it. I've plenty of thoughts about the fight. Ngannou really impressed me. I did say it in the preview. I thought that he has a striker's chance and stuff like that, but he really impressed me. Even switching from orthodox to southpaw and stuff like that and all really, really impressed me. And I think he shocked Tyson Fury. You can't underestimate a guy. You look at the backstory on Francis Ngannou. Getting into a ring and fighting Tyson Fury is mild compared to what that guy has had to endure in his life. But we'll talk about it on Wednesday. To be fair, it was a class goal. It was a lovely goal. There's a bit of a gap appearing at the bottom. Yeah, there is. Yeah, but you look, it's only 7 points all the way up to 11th. 7 points from safety all the way up to 11th, only 10 games in. Are Everton going to get a massive points deduction? I think that's the thought. They're going to get a 12-point deduction, aren't they? But I was saying to guys there the other day, even if you look at it, Warren, even if they got a 12-point deduction, let's suppose they're on 10 now, they go down to -2. -2 would only put them, 8 off safety. They could still potentially escape. So if there was ever a season, and remember, Bournemouth got a big win at the weekend against Burnley. So if that had been a draw, they would be down in 4 points. So if there was ever a season where you would want to get a slap on the wrist and financial fair play and get deducted 10 or 12 points or whatever it is, this is kind of the season where you could probably ride it out and maybe still potentially survive. It's an interesting one. Yeah, I met Edge and Beth in Temple Bar. Stephen, you probably met them the same night that they dropped into my shop. That was the night they dropped into my shop. They were down in Temple Bar. They were tweeting pictures from Temple Bar. And before they went down, they were in with me in the shop actually the same night. I think it was a horrible November night, Stephen, wasn't it? And they were decked out in all their gear. They had wax jackets on them and boots and everything and all. They dropped into the shop for about an hour and we had a great chat. Got a picture. Class, Stephen. Loved that. Loved that. WWE is more legit than boxing at the moment. Absolutely. I don't know. We'll also be checking out as well. I don't know if any of you've watched that new release that came out on Peacock there. I think it was last night. WWE Superfan about your man Vladimir. Check it out. It's class. When was that, Stephen? It's before COVID, as far as I know. It's just before. It was probably done November before COVID hit, I think, or something like that. Football lads. Yeah, you're panicking. It's all good. That is crazy. Yeah. I used to know Francie Barrett. He was pure class, in my opinion. Absolutely. I think one or more of the bottom three will pull the plug on the manager and stay up. That's deadly. Yeah, really sound guy. Yeah, it was really, really sound. Yeah, he FaceTimed my missus. My missus was a big Edge fan and she lost her mind. And I was sitting in the shop chatting away to Beth Phoenix. So it was kind of a little bit awkward. My missus losing her mind, the Edge FaceTiming her, and then she's there and all. Football, yeah, we know there's no panic. It's all good. It's all good tonight. Plenty of time for everything. It's mad how accessible the wrestlers are in OTT. Mox entered beside me, got a high five and video. Yeah, it's just that's a case, Shane, of packing out the place with seats and not having a big huge entrance. That makes sense for those shows. It's part of the upper tier niche, Richie. It certainly is part of the upper tier niche. Right, what are we going on to next? Let's talk about these games. Aston Villa 3, Luton 1. John McGinn opened up the scoring. Douglas Luiz, lovely finish from him. Musa Diaby scored 2 on 49 with Leon Bailey. Locker with an OG making it 3-0. The game was beyond them there at that stage. And then Emi Martinez making it 3-1 with an OG. Do you have many figures in stock in them? And I do, yeah, we've got good selection of figures in at the moment. A lot of collectible ones as well, Stephen, and that aren't always readily available. No, we're talking about the wrestler Edge, Warren. The wrestler, not you two. Oh. You two, Edge from you two wouldn't be that accessible. That's for sure. Adam Copeland, that's the one, yeah. Have the go, pal. Have a live and a pre-record at 9. Fair play. Enjoy. Good luck with it. Drop the links in, Morris, if you want. So yeah, big win for Villa there against Luton. Not unexpected, but certainly keeps the Villa train rolling, doesn't it? And I think I read today is that 12 wins at home on the bounce now for Villa or something like that. 12 wins at home, yeah, big. Everton, or not Everton? What am I saying? Brighton versus Fulham 1-1. Brighton still struggling somewhat. He has a lovely duo set of the Dicks. They've been there a while. Aces is in. Say Dazzler was signing Blue Moon and Stratford End yesterday training match. Yeah, he was there. He FaceTimed me actually from apparently the Wi-Fi is or WhatsApp me. Apparently the Wi-Fi is sorted out in the place anyway. But I did laugh today when they did the interview with Gary Neville when he was doing he doing this podcast thing after the match, and he was talking about all the different issues and stuff like that. And some guy put a comment in underneath. It was on Twitter. Some guy put a comment in behind Gary Neville. The fucking rain is pissing in through the roof. And he put it in the comment and Gary Neville acknowledged it and all. He goes, thanks, I didn't even cop that. Yeah, so it was pretty cool, yeah. But yeah, it was mad. Absolute mad stuff. Evan Ferguson scoring on 26 minutes. Pascal Gross with the assist. Joe Palhinha with an unbelievable goal. Harry Wilson with the assist. 1-1. Big result for Fulham. Not a great result for Brighton. They really are a little bit off it this season, to say the least. Liverpool 3, Nottingham Forest 0. We did the match reaction there earlier, folks. Recorded at 7 o'clock, went on there live. Big game for Liverpool. Big win. A lot of background to this. Obviously, the Luis Diaz situation with his parents getting kidnapped and stuff like that, hanging over the kind of team and stuff like that, and all made it much more difficult than it should have been. But I think we showed a real kind of maturity about our approach to the game and stuff like that. Took control of the game, never surrendered it, opened them up, could have scored a lot of goals. Really yesterday, only for Ryan Gravenberch's touch was slightly off. Alexis McAllister put in a serious shift. Dominic Szoboszlai is unbelievable. Unbelievable at the moment. Just the way he is taken to the Premier League is just incredible. He has to be going down nearly for one of the signings of the season. Really, really incredible. But yeah, Cody Gakpo had a goal ruled out. Could have been 4-0. Mo Salah, of course, picking up his goal. What an assist from Dominic as well. Szoboszlai, unbelievable assist. Shades of when Alisson switches the ball out to Mo like that. Absolute mess from Matt Turner and the defender, and Mo just slotting it home. Incredible goal finish out. Darwin Núñez as well, picking up a goal. I spoke about it earlier. That guy, when he celebrates scoring a goal, he's like a kid at Christmas. Yeah, absolutely drive up, Stephen, or let us know if you want to look at that and just hit me up on Instagram, Wrestling Mania Dublin. I can send you down pictures and we do posters and all that. Nigel's in. Big up, Nigel. How are you, my friend? Liverpool will win the Premier League. Big shout, but not a huge stretch. Could happen. Yeah, you are in Stevens Green, aren't you? Yeah, top floor of Stevens Green. Yeah, absolutely. And Acers, Fruity found out next challenger is Homos. Can you imagine? Big Dom bossing it. Yeah, absolutely. But I think the whole team was on it yesterday. I think the whole team were laser focused. They wanted to put on a performance and, show that support for Luis Diaz and all that kind of stuff. And all. So it was a big day. It was an emotional day. You heard the gaffer post-match talking about it. We did it all on the match reaction earlier. It's up there on it as well. So won't keep on going over it and stuff like that. But it was a very important win to get out of there. And then what was tailed up as the match of the weekend, the Merseyside derby. United looked really good. First 5 or 10 minutes, bringing the energy, battling, getting stuck in, all that kind of stuff, and then just wilted away. That second goal for Man City. The penalty for me, let me know in the chat what you think. Penalty for me is a little bit dubious, but we have seen them given. But I think you really, like, Tierney as a ref he's absolutely shocking. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to give that as a penalty, is the grab on Hoyland's shoulder then that unbalanced him when he was through on goal? Is that then a penalty? Let me know your thoughts. Or if that's not a penalty, then is the first one a penalty? And then you see the stuff with Amrabat and Foden as well. And he just books both boys. Why don't you just call the two boys over and have a conversation with them? That's what top European referees do. They're not in a hurry to dish out these cards all the time and stuff like that. Really poor refereeing again at the weekend. We're going to be talking about it in the notes after we get through the preview. That makes it even worse, doesn't it? that makes it even worse when you think about it. Jude Bellingham performance in El Clasico was outstanding. Yeah, he was unbelievable. Isn't it mad to think that this kid has gone into Real Madrid and he is standing and performing head and shoulders when you think about it? He's the star every week, week in, week out. And you just see that they see the hunger in them there the other day to score that winner and stuff like that and all. And when you think about the players they have there, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Cruz, Modric, all these stars that are there, and every week the conversation is Jude Bellingham, Jude Bellingham, Jude Bellingham. He's unbelievable. He's a Ballon d'Or winner in the waiting, isn't he? When you think about it, unbelievable. But give us your thoughts on second half. Second half was disaster for United. Rashford missing that opportunity. Onana was really, really good. Some of the saves he made just, I mean, this could have been 5 or 6. But the way then City just started passing the ball around, frustrating the United players and stuff like that. Bruno frustrated the hell, couldn't do anything. But really, really, really impressive from Man City. You can see that they're even at this stage, and as tight as the league is, 2 points in it between them and Spurs. Arsenal the same as well, and of course we're just a point off that from that point as well. But City really starting to find their rhythm at the moment, stuff like that. And the scary thing is they're only going to get better. Really, really scary situation when you look at Man City. And you see the difference. You see even the difference there yesterday. Like you look at the substitutions. Like Ten Hag is bringing on Anthony. He's petulant. You see him when he wasn't brought on originally, just shaking his head and giving out shit and all. You know what I mean? Martial coming on. But then you look at City. Look at who City are taking off, and they're bringing on Doku, they're bringing on Kovacic. You know, the level and the quality that's there is just outstanding. You know what I mean? And this is a City side that hasn't had KDB in the side. You know what I mean? It's just mad. Nigel, fair play to Jude. Yeah, unbelievable, Nigel, unbelievable. Warren, that Luis Diaz situation is shocking. I've been to Colombia in the past. It's a beautiful country, but it has a dark side, and you need to have your wits about you at all time. I've never been there. I'd imagine it's beautiful, but like all these beautiful countries there is, you're never too far away. I remember, I remember a guy telling me one time about Miami as well. You know, when you see Miami and how beautiful it is, and South Beach and all, and like 2 or 3 blocks away, then you have all the gangbangers and the ghettos and all, and you're literally talking 3 minutes away in a car. You have to be so careful and stuff like that. So we're praying for the return of his father safely. His mum was returned safely and stuff like that. And also, we're praying for his dad that it's good news and stuff like that. You just don't want to endure that. But again, I also spoke earlier about it on the Liverpool one as well. You know, the internet can be a great thing, social media can be a great thing, but the fact that we know so much about these players now, so intrusive into their lives in terms of Instagram and everything else, and how much these guys are paid and the wealth and the money that they're worth and stuff like that. You know, these people's, relatives, close family and friends and all, they're going to be a target from some of these guys because of the wealth that's involved and stuff like that. And it's just, especially in a country like Colombia, so really, really, hopefully the news is good, Warren. Fingers crossed. Anthony was a straight red card, not yellow. This is Tierney trying to become a referee, So yeah, absolutely, Jesus. I would rule it out Liverpool winning. I wouldn't rule it out Liverpool winning the Premier League. Absolutely, I wouldn't rule anything out. 10 games in, we're only a quarter. We're only 25% nearly through the season. I wouldn't rule anything out at this stage. City will destroy Bournemouth on Saturday. Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. You can't afford to let your guard down for 1 minute. No, absolutely not, Warren. You always have to be aware. I would say that to people, no matter where you are, you always have to be aware of your surroundings. No matter where you are, it's so important. But yeah, we'll get into some news now in a minute when we get through the Carabao Cup as well. Uh, my Jesus, bring Diaz Senior home safe and well. Yeah, Nigel, it's horrific. Can you imagine what the kid's going through? Imagine what he was going through on Saturday night when it was his mum and dad, and they were snatched from a service station. They were filling up their car with gas, weren't they? And these guys on boys came along with balaclavas on and stuff like that and just whipped the two of them, you know what I mean? And it's just must be so frightening, And imagine what his mother's going through right now. Her husband is missing. They don't know what's going to happen. And I just hope, we've seen in the past sometimes the way this goes, that if these guys panic, they just might do the wrong thing and just can't happen. That it's just horrific, just horrific. That's your review of the Premier League action there the weekend. Acers loved Neville versus Cardiff United was unbelievable, unbelievable. The funny thing is, both of them are right. You know, both of them are right. But How often can they keep on playing the ownership card and stuff like that? We know the issues with the owner, but they're not the owners. They're not going anywhere. And like, if anyone thinks that Jim Ratcliffe at any stage is going to get 100% of that club, they need to get their head checked. Right, midweek, now European football. It's Carabao Cup. Let us know your thoughts on this. So, what have we got left? Mansfield versus Port Vale, Ipswich versus Fulham, Man United versus Newcastle, Bournemouth versus Liverpool, Chelsea versus Blackburn, West Ham versus Arsenal, one of the toys of the rounds, Everton versus Burnley, going to be an interesting one as well, and Exeter versus Middlesbrough. Mad how many 1, 2, 3, 4. Four all Premier League ties. So 4 Premier League teams are going out this Tuesday and Wednesday night, whenever it is. Mansfield, Port Vale, I'm not too sure about that one. Ipswich, I think, will give Fulham a good game. Ipswich doing well at the moment and stuff like that. So I think they'll give Fulham a decent game. Not an easy place to go on a Carabao Cup night either, you know. Nigel, are you a dub at the upper tier? I am a dub, but I'm living in Wicklow, but I am a dub. I'm originally a dub and stuff like that. Yeah, I just moved out of it. Yeah, but spot on, Nigel. Good shout there. I have a kind of a thick Dublin accent, don't I? Sir Jim will walk away because Joe Glazer won't give up control. Yeah, and you can see it already when they're talking about sporting matters and stuff like that. Now they're creating a committee, and Joe wants to sit on that committee and stuff like that. They'll just rule the roost with Jim. But they're bringing him in just to get that cash injection in there. Newcastle United revenge on United. Yeah, they'll be pumped up for that, especially with what they've seen at the weekend. Thoughts is that maybe United could bounce back with a big performance. Old Trafford, dare I say, not an easy place to go, but some teams are finding it easy. But Newcastle will definitely want to revenge the final. But can they? They're in form at the moment. They're playing really, really well. Missing a few chances, I would say, but still playing really, really well. They might have too much for United. Depends on what United want to do. It depends what United's priorities are. But it wouldn't look good. And I think United then have Fulham at the weekend, as far as I know. Warren's gone for an Ipswich win. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all, Warren. Tough place to go. Tough place to go. Bournemouth versus Liverpool. That will all depend on what changes the gaffer wants to make on the night. Or how serious he is about this piece of silverware. Nigel is of the opinion Liverpool will win this as well. So that's 2. I tell you, I wouldn't be too upset at that at all, Nigel. I'd be happy enough. Dazzler won't be happy if Newcastle win. He won't. He's not happy right now. I spoke to him this evening coming home. He was heading down towards the boat on the way home, and he wasn't too happy at all. He was talking about the last half an hour being absolute dross. Chelsea versus Blackburn will be interesting. Chelsea will want to bounce back from the weekend. That was a poor showing, wasn't it? Played really, really well, but just can't score. But would it surprise you now if they go out against Blackburn and score 4? Isn't that just Chelsea? They're just this Jekyll and Hyde situation. Away win at Bournemouth. Yeah, hopefully. Nigel, you're taking all. Europa will make it 3. Get him on the phone now, live on the show. I think he's on the boat, so I don't think he'd be coming on. Borough need to be careful at Exeter. Yeah, Borough. Not quite the Borough of last season. Sure, they're not. Struggling somewhat, but should have enough quality to get by Exeter, shouldn't they? But a tricky away toy, but it's going to be interesting, especially with the new rules and replays and stuff like that. And also, it's a one or done now, isn't it? So who are we picking? We going with Ipswich, Newcastle, Liverpool, Chelsea, West Ham, Arsenal, folks. What are we going with West Ham, Arsenal? Warren, you're in there. You're the Arsenal man. Stephen, you're in there. You're the West Ham fan if you're still there. What are you pitching on this? You're looking at wholesale changes here. You're looking at both teams taking this serious. big game away, big London game away down at West Ham for Arsenal. Let's see how that goes. United, no Champions League next season. Don't know. They're talking about 1 to 5 now, aren't they, Acers? Top 5 places. United have to fix up eventually, don't they? And if you look at the points, they're not miles away, but they can't afford to be dropping much more points, to be honest. Nigel's gone with the Gunners. Yeah, I think Newcastle to beat United. Absolutely. Waiting on my guess, the Declan Rice derby. Yeah, what do you reckon, Morris? You're going with Arsenal here, aren't you? What are you going with for the others? Are you going with Newcastle? Declan Rice derby. Wonder will Declan Rice even play? I'm sure he will he? Surely he has the ref sack it. Who knows? That's the one thing about the Carabao Cup. The most exciting part of it at times is nearly waiting on the teams to be announced. The Uncle Ben's Rice derby. There you go. I'd say we can win a good chance of a trophy. Yeah. Arsenal to win. Yeah. And Spurs are out, but they've no game. I don't think Spurs are playing again until next Monday or something like that, as far as I know. So it's a nice rest for them, isn't it? 9 days or whatever it is. Arsenal to win. Daz says, yeah, Warden's in. Borough's fans are nutters. They hate Arsenal, and I have no idea why. Interesting. We'll have to check that out, Warren, and find out. Eddie, Trossard, and Nelson front three. Rice to be rested. Yeah, Rice to be rested. What did you make today as well, folks? Arsenal fans in the chat especially. Talk about Ramsdale going out the door in January, that he could be available for sale. And also Thomas Partey talking about might wanting to move away in January as well if he's not getting game time. Let us know your thoughts on both of those. What happened this bring in 2 keepers and have good competition there, 1 and 2? I knew Ramsdale would want out the door. There's more to that than me, CI. Eddie and Keddy is still utterly garbage footballer. Just scored a hat-trick. Do wonders for man. That's how you kick a season off, potentially. Henry's in. Make sure you're checking out Henry's channel. Over the 200 subs now. Knocking it out of the park. Big up, Henry. Make sure you're checking out his channel. That's his in. Big up, Henry. West Ham versus Arsenal will be interesting in terms of team selection. Yeah, it's probably more about that. Ramsdale and Partey did no wrong. Yeah, it's just such a strange one, isn't it? I mean, do you reckon is he going to play Ramsdale on? Will he play Ramsdale on Wednesday? I don't know, and especially if that news comes out, if there's any truth behind it, and he's pushing for it and stuff like that, he might just bin him off. You know what I mean? But he'd be a great keeper for clubs to pick up. Big up, Daz. I'm on Henry's channel Wednesday. What time are you on at? If there's a link up there, Henry, make sure you drop it in there and share it. Make sure, boys, you put it out on all the socials as well, and we'll drop it out there. Is it a live? Let me know if it's alive, if you're going out with a topic and stuff like that. Interesting to hear. Shout out to everyone. Gonna hit the hay. I'm totally wiped out after today. Great show. Catch you on the Upper Tier Pro Wrestling Wednesday. Absolutely, Eno. Thanks for joining us as always. Have you got Morris on Friday, Henry? Morris is saying Wednesday. Thank you very much, Niall, for the shout out. 207 to be exact. There you go. Let's get it to 210, folks. 210. Let's get 3 in there. Strange that no Carabao Cup on Sky tomorrow night. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's just I think it's the way that it's because of Europe as well. The way the fixtures fell at the weekend, it kind of shags that all up going into the following week. You know, surely he has to play Ramsdale Wednesday. Does he? 9 p.m. Fire stick. What's for dinner at the Upper Tier? What's for dinner? Had dinner earlier. Do you know what I did, folks? We did a Sunday dinner yesterday, and I had some leftovers. And I don't know about you guys. It's a bank holiday Monday here, of course. I think the UK's one is next week, isn't it? Your bank holiday is next weekend, as far as I know. But there's nothing tastier, is there, than the leftovers from a Sunday dinner on a Monday bank holiday? I have to say, really enjoyed it. I'm going through a tough time. A friend of mine is fighting for her life in hospital, so I am very concerned about her health. Sorry to hear that, Henry. We'll be shouting out thoughts and all that with you, mate. Hope it all comes full circle and everything's okay, you know. Very sorry, Henry. Thank you, Morris. Yeah, hope it's all good. We'll keep it in our mind and in our thoughts. Let's get into some news then. Carabao Cup. Who do we see? Before we get off the Carabao Cup, who do we see? Who do we think is going to win it? Whose name is on it? Who do you think? Could Newcastle go one stretch further this year after the disappointment of the final? And also putting out the holders potentially on Wednesday night. Possible heart attack. God, Henry, that's awful. Sorry to hear that. Dylan or Stephen's going with West Ham. Stephen's going with West Ham to win the Carabao Cup. I like that, Stephen. You have to put the Arsenal out then on Wednesday. Who knows? See, think about this Carabao Cup as well, isn't it? Like you can play as good as you want, but it's all about the draw, isn't it? It's all about the draw. Like you could get Exeter in the next round or whatever it is if they got through. You could get Mansfield or Port Vale in the next round if they get through. Before you know it, you're in the semi-final. It's mad. Thank you very much, my friends. Absolutely. Nigel's gone for Liverpool. Could be Arsenal or Liverpool for me. What about Morris if we had an Arsenal Liverpool final? Stephen reckons it's their year, the Hammers. Daz reckons Liverpool. She's 81. 81, Henry. Not a bad age. Not a bad age, but not huge either, you know. Stephen, it's coming home to the East End. Nice. Ipswich to beat Fulham. Yeah, I think a lot of people are thinking that, aren't they? Newcastle to beat United. Ramsdale isn't going anywhere. Don't forget, Ray is only at Arsenal on loan. If Ramsdale goes in January, what happens if the deal can't be sorted out for Ray? I would imagine Warren, looking at the way he's being used and looking at the way he's being played, I reckon that deal is already sorted out. I would think. Because if that deal isn't already sorted out, I don't think Arteta would be treating Ramsdale the way he is. And I don't think he's treating him great, if it has to be said. LFC to beat Bournemouth, yeah, absolutely. Arsenal are missing Jesus, Odegaard, Partey, and Timber. Yeah. Some people would say some of them are a blessing. Timber's a strange one, isn't it? He was doing really, really well. It's a shame he got injured. Depending on the draw on Wednesday night, yeah, absolutely. Warren thinks Liverpool. Morris, that would be a great final. We could get a ticket to that. Absolutely. We'd have to go over, wouldn't we? The old Milk Cup. Remember the old Milk Cup? Yeah, League Cup. Liverpool bossed it years ago. Yeah. We had the Milk Cup. We had the Coca-Cola. We had the Worthington. God, for years it was mad, wasn't it? The Milk Cup, Nigel. You're after shaking my memory there now. The Milk Cup. Chelsea to beat Blackburn. Yeah, I think so. They could fire back there and score a few. Not much West Ham fans in Ireland. I actually had we used to have a guy who came on the podcast. He was a City fan and his dad was a big Hammers fan. We actually did I must upload it. I have it somewhere. Stephen, you'd enjoy it. We used to do a legend series where we bring on a fan and we talk about one of the legends from the clubs. And I did one on Paolo Di Canio. I'll dig it out during the week, Stephen, and what I'll do is I'll upload it onto the channel for you. A legend series with Paolo Di Canio, and we were talking about all the craziness of this man and stuff like that. But what a footballer Paolo Di Canio was. Yeah, but we did a West Ham one and stuff like that. It was really cool. With the chap's dad did it with me. He was a big Hammers fan and stuff like that. Yeah, but it's well worth a watch. They're good crack, those legend series. I say that deal is already done, Warren. Yeah, that was my thinking as well, Morris. The way he's treating Ramsdale, it has to be. Are you doing okay, Warren? I was concerned after you cancelled your match of the day on Saturday. Yeah, it was a big loss, Warren, as well. People really enjoyed that show. Good few here in Offaly, though. Nice. Arsenal to beat Gunners. Arsenal to beat Gunners. Arsenal to beat the Gunners. You mean Arsenal to beat the Hammers? It would have been, I'm sure. Burnley to beat the Blue Shite. If Tottenham beat Chelsea next Monday, 17 points clear of them, insane. Yeah, I've seen that, Aces. I've seen people talking about that as well, but how insane is it? How insane is it when you see what's going on at Chelsea and what they've done? And now Peterborough to beat Borough. Interesting. Warren, I think Arteta's using Raya to teach Ramsdale a lesson. I think it's deeper than that, Warren. I think it's deeper. I'm giving my age away. You are giving your age away, the milk cup. I like that, though. I like it. Fair play, Nigel. And Port Vale to beat Mansfield. Brain fried, Niall. Yeah, absolutely. Arsenal to beat the Hammers. Yeah. Listen, you've other things on your mind. Your mates in hospital and stuff like that. That's allowed. That's allowed, no doubt about it. At the upper tier, do you like U2? Have you seen the YouTube videos from the Sphere Las Vegas? Mind blown. Unbelievable, Nigel. I do like U2. I loved them back in the day and stuff like that. That thing, that Sphere is unbelievable. I've been watching other videos on it as well, Nigel. Have you seen the ones where they do the ocean with the fish and the sharks and all? And the other one where they do, is it like a safari with the animals and stuff like that? It looks incredible. The UFC want to do a show there. They're knocking on the door. They can't get in yet. Dana White is begging them to give him a day. But yeah, it looks that Sphere thing looks amazing. Even on the outside, it looks amazing. Liverpool over 8 goals against Luton Town next Sunday. You recognise us? U2, no thanks. Imagine a Celtic versus Liverpool Europa League final in Dublin in May. That would be some party. Absolutely. Just imagine. Imagine the rendition of You'll Never Walk Alone in the stadium that night. Can I have a pension on a pension for very old age? Stress related. Pension on a pension. Good Lord. Not saying that. I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, they're on TikTok as well, Noise. If you're on TikTok, we're on all the socials out there and stuff like that. But if you even go on to YouTube, just search that Las Vegas Sphere. Like they're all sitting there, and you want to see the ocean is above them with all these shoals of fish and all schools of fish and stuff like that, and sharks and all. It's unbelievable. If I wanted to watch someone talk politics, I'd turn on the news. Yes, Celtic. Chelsea finishing 13th. It's a shoe. Chelsea finishing 13th. Right, that's it for Carabao Cup. We've given it more than enough time on the show. United will be dropping into the Europa League knockouts in February. United will be doing well for the Europa League. Henry's in solid to score 4 against Luton and Nunez to get a brace and Gakpo to come off the bench and grab a goal. Good Lord, we're putting in. That's away, isn't it, that game as well, folks, isn't it? We're away at Luton. It's not an easy place to go. I wouldn't be, and they're a physical team and stuff like that. I wouldn't be quite going that far on it yet. Right, it's Ballon d'Or night. Here are the thoughts of one Craig Burley. He says, if Erling Haaland doesn't win the Ballon d'Or, close the shop. Lionel Messi has won the World Cup and it's a great achievement, but it's a 4-week period. His overall championship form wasn't the best. PSG have been terrible. Erling Haaland, 50 plus goals, a Premier League title, an FA Cup and a Champions League. Erling should win this award. I know a lot of people can't leave the Messi train, but look at the big picture. This price is driving me nuts. I think there will be a bunch of emotional stories. Messi has won the World Cup. Messi is this and Messi is that, and they will give him another one. If I was Erling Haaland, I would never go to the Ballon d'Or ceremony in my life if he didn't win it this year, just like Robert Lewandowski. Let us know your thoughts, folks. Yeah, exactly, Daz. It's away. It's at Luton, and Luton's not a nice place to go. They're going to have difficulty as well backing that Liverpool bus in through that shop. Can you imagine? Way to go on 1.15, Niall. Awesome. Yeah, doing my best. Pushing it, Henry. Pushing it and grinding every day. That's all you can do. YouTube is a grind and content creation is a grind. Stephen, that will be a massacre. Could be. Morris Ogbenny will get a hat-trick and they will lose 9-3. Yay, the Irish. Go on, Ogbenny. Very difficult question. Potentially Mo now. He's been practicing pens and looks very, very good. Yeah, absolutely. Should be interesting. But what's your thoughts, folks, on the Ballon d'Or? I mean, I think we're all in agreement. Are we all in agreement that it's probably going to go to Messi? I mean, it should be nearly out at this stage. I can't grab the actual results at the moment, but I seen Mo placed at 11th or something like that. But let me know your thoughts on the Ballon d'Or. To me, I always find it a little bit weird looking at these individual ceremonies for players that play in teams. You know what I mean? Like you look at Haaland potentially if he won the Ballon d'Or. Would Haaland be as good as he was if he didn't have Julian Alvarez and Grealish and Rodri and all these great players going to one last season all around him and stuff like that? You know what I mean? So it's a really tough one to call when they're handing out individual trophies to teams, basically. Um, it's hard to know. Look, we think it's gonna. Yeah, it is. It is open to Messi. Yeah, Messi's probably gonna win it based on the World Cup, I'd say. But Haaland should definitely feel aggrieved about it. I would imagine. I'd be very surprised. Um, he will go strong. Daz reckons he will go strong on Wednesday. Sabozloi will be scoring from the halfway line. Good lord. I was looking there the other day as well, that free kick when he set up for that free kick. I wouldn't like to be taking a free kick in the guts off him either. It's on TNT Sports 2 now. I don't think I can watch it, Acers. I don't think I can watch it because it's so contrived. I find it very hard to watch it. Is it open to Messi? It is indeed, yeah. Mikel Antonio should get it. Good lord. We gave our thoughts on him the other night, didn't we, Stephen? Last year. Absolutely. It's a glorified award ceremony, to be honest, Niall. It's a Haaland trophy, as Mbappe won't get it. Yeah, I don't know. I think Haaland will win the other award that he's up for as well. There's no doubt about that, but I don't think he'll take the top Ballon d'Or, unfortunately. Um, Messi is a guarantee, but I feel it's a fix a lot of the times. Messi didn't deserve to win it last time he won it, yeah. It's just so contrived at times. Do a Don Revy and get the team to walk the last few yards down the street outside the ground. I think that's literally what you have to do at Luton Warren, isn't it? Mad. Uh, sorry, I thought we meant next year. No, this year. This year. It's on tonight. It's on tonight, Nigel. Acers, what's Raw on TNT Sports 1 or 2 tonight? Um, Raw. Katie McCabe came 22nd in the women's. There you go. Did she lose? Did she lose 10 or 12 places because of Out and Vera? Was it? Just saying. Just saying. Ignore me. I can't ignore you. You mentioned the Milk Cup. How can I ignore you? TNT Sports 2, Baseball World Series on TNT Sports 1. There you go. Stevens in. The bloke is washed. I don't want him at the club. Absolutely. For a guy, how long is he at your club now, Stephen? For the length of time he's at your club and he's decided to suddenly develop a personality and start talking and doing interviews. David Beckham out on the stage now to give the award. Let me know, folks. If we're not finished and you know who gets it, let us know. Drop it in the comments there. Don't think people will be too worried about spoilers for the Ballon d'Or ceremony somehow. Creed Brothers debut on Raw tonight. Good Lord. How many goals does Haaland score for Norway? You will find your answer there. Yeah, absolutely. But so pass the Mao for third goal was exceptional. My God, Henry, what a pass that was. They even have the vision to do it. And he looked up and picked it. And yeah, and it was just, I suppose there is an element of luck as well. The mistake from the keeper and the defender as well helps it. But still, to spring that pass was unbelievable. What an assist. The Barca woman wins it every year. Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's talk some news. Let's get into this. Gary Neville today claiming that the class of 92 would even struggle in this Old Trafford environment. Thoughts on that, chat? Let us know what your thoughts is. Gary Neville, class of 92 would even struggle in the current United environment. Let me know your thoughts on that one. Interesting. Luis Rubiales, I think is how you pronounce it, former Spanish Football Association president, banned from all football-related activities for 3 years. Originally thought the ban was going to be a little bit shorter, but they've extended it to 3 years, and they've extended it all football-related activities. We're going to talk as well about Ref Watch. Does Haaland on Rodri does the Highland on Rodri foul set a precedent going forward? Are we going to see a huge uplift now on penalties now based on this? Because you see most times when balls are played in there like that, lads are getting grappled left, right, and centre. So have they now sort of taken a stick to beat themselves with in terms of refereeing and VAR based on this? Let us know your thoughts on this. It is an interesting one that opens up, but then probably not, because if you're saying slightly later on when Hoyland was on his way through and he was grabbed by the shoulder and knocked off his balance before he got his shot away, there was nothing given. So possibly not. Um, MJF versus Kenny Omega collision was amazing. It was amazing. MJF with the big win and now becoming the longest ever reigning AEW champion from what I read. Again, we'll talk plenty about that on Wednesday. Pep Guardiola was talking as well, surprised by the chasm between Man City and Man United. What a way to describe it. A chasm between them. After arriving, and he arrived, remember, when Jose was in charge as well, Jose and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So he says he can't believe the gap between both teams now. Man United are just such a struggle at the minute. You don't really know what's going to happen there. And I went back and I looked at the Man United 11 for Pep Guardiola's first Manchester derby in 2016. And this is the United team that faced them in that first Manchester derby. David De Gea, Valencia, Boy, Blind, Shaw, Pogba, Lingard, Mkhitaryan, Fellaini, Ibrahimovic, and Rooney. Interesting how it's developed. Give us your thoughts on that in the chat as well if you want. Beck's putting Bobby Charlton over absolutely 100%, and so he should. Messi just won the Ballon d'Or. There you go. Messi wins. It's what do you say? What do you say? Shock? Yeah. Are we shocked? No chance. Let's talk. Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher clash on Manchester United's woes. Let us know your thoughts on this as well, folks. We know the whole situation with the takeover, with the owners, the dividends, all that kind of stuff. The people that they've put in charge in key areas above the manager and stuff like that over the years. The amount of managers that they've changed. You have a squad there now that's probably a bit part of 4 managers, maybe 5 even, who knows. But what do you think at the moment? You've got Jamie Carragher, who's on the side of, listen, we can't keep on kind of talking about the owners. We know the situation with the owners. Gary went to talk about Sir Jim coming in and all that, and Carragher shut it down straight away, said, listen, we don't even know an identity here for United. We don't have a pattern of play or a formation or anything like that. They spent an awful lot of money. He's brought in his players, some of which he doesn't even use now, some of which he benches. The Mason Mount situation, the Anthony situation. Carragher alluded to the fact that, like Rashford, he keeps on picking them, keeps on picking these players. Then you look at the Sancho situation. Is there now, as the days go on and the weeks go on, is there validity now to the Sancho situation? Is there more being exposed? Who knows? I thought there was really good points made by both of them, but it was nice to see them both clash. Let us know your thoughts as well. Roy Keane as well called for Bruno to be stripped of the captaincy. Let us know your thoughts on that. Even as whether you're a Liverpool fan or not, brown envelope decision. I suppose they're giving him this one because it's probably his last one. They're not going to be handing out Ballon d'Ors, I think, to the MLS. That's for sure. Neville is never focused on the pitch. Ollie was better than Eric Ten Hag. Yeah, and they eventually railroaded him out as well. I know this is going to be controversial for me, but I honestly don't rate Pep at all, Niall. He's just a checkbook manager, and he's never proven it. Why I think Klopp is a far better manager. I'm not disagreeing with you on the debate between the two. What I would say to you as well is I think Pep Guardiola is a lot more than that. I think it doesn't matter how much money you have to spend. Think of Chelsea, who have spent so much money and look at what way it's gone. So I think you still have to be quite top level manager and stuff like that. And I think, Keith, if you even go back at last season, there was moments last season and the previous season. If you look at the season where we just missed out on the league, and you think in that moment with 20 minutes or 30 minutes to go or whatever it is, and they were struggling, and Aston Villa were winning that game, and we were on course to win the league. And he made those fundamental changes at those times to get them over the line. And he's done that so many times now. It can't be a fluke and it can't be luck. He's rewritten football in the way that it's approached, in the way that it's coached. And I don't think I know these charges are hanging over the club, all these alleged charges and stuff like that. But I think he's an exceptional coach. I think his management in there, the way he manages players, I think there's a lot of parallels between himself and Klopp. I think Klopp just hasn't had the financial backing that he really needed at key moments to get those few more trophies over the line and stuff like that. But you still have to go in there, regardless of how many players you sign and how much money you spend. You still have to manage them. You still have to go in every day and train them. You still have to be that guy that pulls them all together. You still have to be that guy that when it's time to tell someone to sit down and someone else comes in, or time to make that change and that substitution, that has to be managed. You know what I mean? And that takes top level coaches to be able to manage players of that profile. So I disagree with you. I don't think it's all money at all. I think it's I think we'll look back on his career, when the time comes to look back on it and stuff like that. And it's as hurting as it feels and stuff like that, even as a Liverpool fan, it's a very special time in football, and we're just because we're engrossed in it, we're not maybe fully aware of it in terms of its appreciation. Look at what they did last season. That can't be sneered at. That's not by just going out and buying players. And Keith, look at what they're doing as well. If you look at their spend at the moment, the amount of players they're selling at the moment from the academy and everything else, a top wedge. I think this is the first year. Is this the first year, I think, where they're in a positive spend or something like that? And look at what they brought in. Look at the quality of what they brought in. So I think it's unfair to say that, to be honest. Is there any news about Neil Lennon being linked to the Ireland job? Personally, I think it would be a disaster. There's no links with him at all, and I think you're right, Warren. It would be a disaster. I spoke to Darren about it last week. He went, "Good Lord," when we were talking about Kenny. Ten Hag knows time's up. P45 immediately incoming. What do you make of the talk, folks? Ten Hag, the talk about. Obviously, he wants to leave. Potentially, let's suppose he wants to leave, and obviously get a wedge. But the talk linking him back to the Ajax job to go back there and sort things out at Ajax again. The timing all seems very strange, doesn't it? Keane is bang on with that sulk as captain. He down tools when Ronaldo came in. He down tools somewhat yesterday as well. I mean, he was giving out shit after about 10 minutes and stuff like that as well, Graham Potter odds on to become United's next manager. Can you imagine? Imagine how difficult that job would be. I was talking to Darren about that today, and we were talking about, say, Ten Hag did go. Who's available to come in? Now, would they bring in Graham Potter? The problem with the manager that's coming in, one, they don't have a huge amount of money in order to get rid of Ten Hag. Two, they wouldn't have a huge amount of money to bring a manager in. And three, when they get that manager in there, then you're talking about a melting pot of 6 managers potentially. And then he'd want X amount of budget as well to put his stamp on it and his players in it as well. Be a total mess for someone going in there at the moment, And then you look at Graham Potter and you look at what happened at Chelsea. And then you look at the way United moves and the way that United dressing room moves and stuff like that, the way they can just put you out there and pin you against the wall and stuff like that. So I'm not too sure. I think Graham Potter going in there, I think, good Lord, can you imagine? Morris hopes Oasis. Absolutely. Look at Arsenal, 700 million spent, and Arteta hasn't challenged for top honours once. Yeah, I think the fall off. I think the fall off last year wasn't great. I think there's a difference with that Arsenal side this season, isn't there? And there's a bit of bite about him and stuff like that as well. I don't know. Listen, at the end of the day, you look back on this last 6-7 years, whatever it is, 7 years probably. Imagine how competitive football would be if Man City didn't exist. This is the problem. Everyone has to lay down a marker to them. They're the benchmark. And it's just unfortunate. We've pushed them so many times now, so close. and we just haven't been able to get over the line. And you could see the respect that Pep has for Liverpool and for Klopp, because in order to be absolutely amazing, you need to have a real good dance partner, and that's kind of what Pep said. He says only for Liverpool we wouldn't have reached the heights that we reached, because we pushed them so hard. But I said it before, and I said it to you guys last year, Arsenal fans. I said it to Morris and Warren, all the boys, Dell and everything. I'll shout out, and Kyle and all those boys. And I said the mental torture every week of having to perform to keep just within distance of these guys is incredible. Pep has been blessed with the tools, but you need to be able to use them to build things. Absolutely, Morris. Absolutely. Listen, I've said it to people before. You can go out and you can buy the best 11 players in each position and put them in a team. And I could guarantee you that team wouldn't win the Prem, because they won't have that bond and that team spirit and that, like, I'll run through a wall for my teammates kind of thing. Seen it before. How many teams have we seen? Look, we've seen what happened at Chelsea. How many brilliant players have they signed at Man United and spent huge money, and it hasn't worked out? Di Maria, Falcao, Ibrahimovic, to name but a few. Ronaldo came back in. They've signed so many great players. Just doesn't work that way. It's not that easy. Warren Arteta should have never been hired in the first place. Don't want Lennon or Kane, but anyone be better than Kenny. Yeah, Nigel. United has a toxic environment. They need a total reset from top to bottom. They do, and it's just so difficult. How are you going to do that? Like, how do you reset United at the top? The Glazers have no ambitions of going. Let's be honest. They just want investment. They're not going anywhere. They know that United within the space of 5 years is going to be worth 10 or 12 billion. Football at the moment value is just going to fluctuate and keep on growing and growing and growing with broadcasting and everything else that we spoke about last week. So why would you leave? Like, if you're one of the Glazers, why would you leave? You're able to manipulate the market by hiring and firing people to earn you 200 million every 2 years or whatever it is. I don't think the Glazers give an absolute damn who the manager of United is, so long as they have a reason to get rid of him and nosedive and manipulate the market out there to make serious money in the background. And that's literally what they do. Let's be honest. It's a financial chasm. Arteta to United, please, please, please. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? He would be rowing his own boat within 6 months. Yet, Niall, but how much of City's success is down to them cheating? Well, that we don't know, Warren, do we? Hopefully we'll know in the near future, but at the moment we don't know. I mean, if you look at the Everton situation, where they're able to uncover that and deal with it so quick and probably issue this points deduction and stuff like that. Imagine if Man City are found guilty of even half the charges, even 50 or 60 charges, God knows what might happen, and stuff like that. But again, until it's all washed out, we'll never know. We can assume and we can make judgment on it, but I'd rather wait till see what comes out of it. Let's see what happens. But certainly, how's Martial still there? Unreal. Because everywhere they send him back because he had a shit attitude and a horrible facial and horrible facials and body language and everything else. Who the hell wants Anthony Martial in their team? The guy looks so negative. I don't know anyone who'd want him in there. What else have you got? Spoke about Jurgen Klopp. I suppose we have to round out the show, folks. We have to raise this issue again, this issue of racism in football. It's just horrific. I'm sick to the back teeth of dealing with it and talking about it and having to do shows on it. Again, after El Clasico, Vinicius Jr. has allegedly been racially abused. And La Liga are investigating it again. And I said this about La Liga. I really would be concerned about La Liga and in terms of this tolerance level for, they play it down all the time. We've seen them being racially abused by literally half a stand in a game and stuff like that. And I'm not too sure what action was taken and stuff like that, but they really, really, really need to stamp it out. You know what I mean? And I just think La Liga's tolerance level of racial abuse, to me, has to be a little bit questionable at times, and I think they should really look into it. This boy is getting tortured all the time. What a talent he is. And how scary would it be? We've spoke about now. Warren did a show with Jess there a month or so ago about, abuse on social media and leading to suicide and depression and all that kind of stuff. What a big topic it is and stuff like that. Got a boy there, Vinicius Jr., that people forget in the background, regardless of how much you're paid, regardless of your wealth, regardless of your possessions, regardless of anything that you have. This boy has to go home, and he has to in moments when he's on his own, think about this stuff. You know what I mean? I carry that all the time and stuff like that. And I just think it's really, really shocking. And following off on that as well, Gillingham confirmed. This is what I want to see. A lifetime ban for a supporter after Newport's Omar Bogle subjected to abuse. I don't know if you seen that the other day when he scored a goal and the fan down on that sort of terrace. That was absolutely disgusting. He should have jumped the barrier and he should have battered the head off that fan, to be honest. It was absolutely disgusting to see. Um, Arteta would do a better job than any of the managers since Sir Alex. Would he? I think they'd isolate him and down tools, Morris. I think the problem with that United locker room at the moment, there's too much player power at United. They can't get rid of players they want to get rid of, you know, and it's really, really difficult. You can see even the way it's going at the moment. We know how this is going to play out. This is going to play out. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. It's going to get toxic, and Eric Ten Hag's going to have to go. And it doesn't matter who else they bring in there. If you bring Arteta in there, it'll get a little bit of an uplift for a couple of months. Everything will be nice and rosy. Boom, boom, boom. Then he'll have to have a conversation with a player, and the next thing there'll be an issue. Look at Marcus Rashford's drop off in form. It's sensational. And is this related? I mean, there's a lot of talk going around at the moment that the squad aren't happy with how Ronaldo was treated. They aren't happy with how David De Gea was sent off. They aren't happy with the way Jadon Sancho's being treated. I mean, there's a young lad who last year they sent out for 3 months to deal with some fitness stuff and mental health stuff and all that kind of stuff. And I just wonder, there was a conversation yesterday after that post-match Eric Ten Hag was asked about Varane, and he said it was tactical. And I wonder, did he want to unload there with more information? But he learned from the Jadon Sancho situation and stuff like that. Things are not good at United at the moment. There's a lot of mudslinging there in the background. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's no way you're sitting down with Varane for Johnny Evans and calling it tactical and expect people just to swallow that up. There's issues there. There's major issues there. That squad is fragmented. They're not playing for each other. You know what I mean? Like if you're putting Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire out in the cold for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, 10 months, 12 months, whatever it is, and all of a sudden these are the guys who are coming in and performing. Look, is Jadon Sancho now sitting in the background waiting for Eric Ten Hag to get binned off and fired? So the new manager, Graham Potter, whoever it is, comes in, Sancho comes back into the group, and we're off and running again. Is that what's going on there? You know what I mean? It's just it's chaos there at the moment, I'd say. I understand your argument, but I think Klopp is pound for pound is the best manager. It depends on like when you look back on it when it's all done and dusted. For me, if you look at Jurgen Klopp, I love Jurgen Klopp. I'm a Liverpool fan, but I think we have to look at the Jurgen Klopp era, and I think Trophy Hall wise, I think we'll be a little bit disappointed. I think we'll feel we should have had one more league. I think we'll feel we should have had one more Champions League and probably more domestic trophies, I would think. I would think Jurgen Klopp is probably three, maybe four trophies shy of where he might have expected to be. And that's through no fault of his own. A lot of it is true. Well, you could argue maybe some of it is at times, but you could argue some of it is the ownership, how they haven't supported them, how they haven't gone that extra mile in terms of that one more player or a player of a better level or whatever it is. And he had to basically play a team out for 5 or 6 years and run them into the ground before they accepted that it needed to be changed. I love Jurgen Klopp. I think if you look at different levels, I think there's positives and negatives towards both managers and stuff like that when you're trying to compare them and stuff like that. But ultimately, what does it come down to? And it comes down to winning trophies. And I think that's where we have fallen short. We should have never lost that last one against Real Madrid. It was really, really poor. Um, and there's a couple of times where we just in key moments came up short against City in league run-ins and stuff like that. And some of it wasn't necessarily that we didn't get extra people in. Some of it sometimes was kind of tactical within games at key moments as well. So we can't, where we know FSG is a huge problem and stuff like that at times. We have to take into account last year the stubbornness of how long it took to change formation and change players to get us back winning again, to the point where we came up short for top four this year and we ended up in the Europa League, which to me is heartbreaking. Yeah, Arteta has a higher win ratio than Wenger so far. Wow, there's a stat. I understand the regular. Oh yeah, we just went through that shit. That's the one I was looking at. Shit. Despicable behaviour. Yeah, absolutely. Dave's in. Big up, Dave. Make sure you're checking out Dave's channel, Dave's LFC chaps. Hope all's well, Niall. Absolutely spot on, Dave. Been watching your stuff and all and good stuff. Yeah, we'll have to get together and do a show soon, Dave. Let's get together and do a show soon with the lads again. A bit of crack. Yeah, I hope you're well. I sent Niall a clip about Klopp being a better manager than Guardiola, and it was a mind blowing. Yeah, absolutely. Arteta is absolutely clueless management tactics. You think? What did I miss? Nothing. You didn't miss anything, my friend. I don't think it's a problem in the UK, thankfully, except isolated instances you mentioned. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think so. But it's just it's just when we live in a world like that. Like you even see, remember there was a couple of weeks ago, the kid Lowry who passed away and stuff like that, and the lads with pictures on the phone and stuff like that. And all it's just so it's not necessarily Nigel where I'm coming from. It's not necessarily racial. It's just this lack of human kind of it's just a lot of stupid stuff out there at the moment. Hate chants, all that kind of stuff. Seeing City fans last week there chanting about Bobby Charlton in the mud and all. Like, it's cop on, cop on. The hair is better than Onana. I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't disagree at all. West Ham are in for Sancho for January. That'd be interesting, Stephen, wouldn't it? Be interesting to see what you get him out of there for. Probably a loan, I would imagine, would it, with a commitment to buy. But he ain't going to be cheap. But I mean, if you can get United to pay for most of it, he'd be a tidy player. I still think Jadon Sancho. I still think that Jadon Sancho from Dortmund can be found. I just think he needs to be managed in a certain way, and it needs to be a bit more dynamic. And I think with Eric Ten Hag, I don't think there's dynamic in there to manage players in a different kind of way. I think he's more of a straight line sort of guy, and you toe this line or we've an issue. I think there's other dynamic managers out there that players have to be managed in a different way. Some need to be kind of more loved and fathered and that kind of thing. Others need a bit more kind of steeliness about them, stuff like that. I'm not sure Ten Hag is that way. I think Ten Hag is just on that radar line for everyone across the board and stuff like that. Maybe that's what some of the struggles is. He broke the dressing room. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Onana was doing double duty for the Manchester derby. He was I have to say with Onana, some of those saves yesterday were just incredible. Brian's in. How are you? Good to see you, Brian. Cheers, mate. Thanks for dropping in. Potter surely isn't being considered. He's already proved the job is too big. If Potter goes into one of the bottom four, they stay up. He is being considered. Apparently, Graham Potter is on a short list that I heard has been compiled, which is horrible to hear as well, isn't it, when you think about it? Because if you have a manager in situ there that you're supporting and you're hearing in the background that short lists are being compiled just in case, that's not a feeling. But apparently Graham Potter is on a short list potentially if they do pull the trigger on Eric Ten Hag. I want that dinosaur Moyes out of my club as well. Absolute donkey. Good for nothing. Good for nothing. Delivered a European trophy last year. Just saying. Gillingham is a cesspit. The county in which Gillingham is known as the Garden of England, and every garden has a compost heap. Nigel, I think Jurgen has won 10 from memory. Bob won 20. So he's halfway. Halfway, yeah. Good Lord. Bob Paisley, man. What a manager. What a manager. Him and Shanks. Unreal. Gillingham is Kent's compost heap. Love it, Warren. Granted, slightly different game now, but all things considered, Jurgen needs 10 more. Yeah. Yeah. Would you agree, Nigel? Would you agree that Jurgen is probably not him personally, but I think in the Jurgen Klopp era, have we fallen short by maybe 3 or 4 trophies in that time? I think we have. I wouldn't rule out another Premier League title with this new team we have now. Don't see it happening this season, but next year could be our year if he gets the right players in. Interesting. Who do you want them to bring in, though? Like, who are you taking out at the moment? Who do you want? We need a centre back anyway. We need a left back. That's for sure. We need to decide what we want to do in that sixth position. There's a starting point, and then of course we have to decide what happens if something happens with Mo Salah. But let me know. It's not necessarily that easy. You know what I mean? We've brought in a whole brand new midfield this season. You know, I think the Premier League this season. I think there's a number of teams in the run for this. I think it's up for grabs. Spurs obviously have been the unknown. They've come out of nowhere and they're leading it, and rightly so. But most people will be expecting them to fall away somewhat. So if they fall away, who have you got there? You have City, Arsenal, Liverpool. Emery's doing great things at Villa. Was doing good stuff at Newcastle. It's going to be quite a competitive season this season. I don't think it's going to be as out. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, players in and out. Yeah. Ten Hag is a clown. There you go. Jack's in. Sorry I'm late. My phone charger broke. I had to use my sister's charger and I watched live stream. This house speeds live stream. Whilst I waited for my phone to charge. Yeah, he's unreal, isn't he? Mad. Hi Warren, mate. Hope you're better now, mate. Warren's all good. He's the man. He'll never walk alone. Big up. The grass isn't always green or West Ham. Yeah, that's true. Be careful sometimes what you wish for. At Das, hope you're well, mate. I am. Good. Warren. Martin O'Neill will be a good show for any Premier League club. He is a tactical genius. There's a shout. Interesting. I heard him talk. I was interested. He was on TalkSport there. Was it last week on one of the shows? He does a morning show, I think. Very interesting guy to talk to to listen to when it comes to football. He had some good things to say about his time at Villa and stuff like that, and how good they were and how good they could have been. So I wouldn't necessarily disagree with you, Warren, but be interesting to see if he went into the likes of a Bournemouth or a Burnley or something like that who were struggling. Do you collect any figures, Niall? I do, Stephen. If you look above my head there, you'll see there's a whole line of figures across the top there. They're just not in full view. And I'm mad into Funko Pops. I collect loads of stuff, jerseys, anything. I'm big into collectibles, but yeah, I do. I collect a lot of figures, Stephen, to say the least. For my sins, it's nearly my buying figures is nearly my drug of choice, Stephen. I don't think those trophies lost are due to Jurgen, and I wouldn't be surprised if Jurgen leaves on 20 matching Bob. Yeah, no, that's what I mean. I don't think it's not Jurgen. I'm talking about in the Jurgen Klopp era. I think there's a lot of factors go into the fact that we didn't get over the line. There's a lot of things we can look back in some of those seasons and stuff like that, not necessarily pinning it on the gaffer at all. I love Jurgen Klopp to bits. But I think there's definitely factors we could look at that. And I think a lot of people sometimes get clouded at some of those factors just necessarily being FSG. I think there's a little more to and that. Certainly that's a factor. But I think if you asked Jurgen Klopp, I think if Jurgen Klopp left Liverpool tomorrow, I think he'd look back at his time at Liverpool somewhat of a missed opportunity. That's what I think. Not necessarily down to him. But yeah, again, let me know your thoughts. But spot on, Nigel, like it. We need another centre back to replace Virgil van Dijk for the future. Another left back to replace and to replace Salah. He's most likely to leave in the summer. He needs to give Endo a run in to prove himself. Yeah, we can talk about that Endo. Endo's kind of a weird one, isn't it? Because most times he's played, he's done really, really well. I think the last 2 or 3 games he's played in, he's been in or around man of the match, or he's being contender for it. You know what I mean? So I don't know what else he has to prove. And the gaffer, when you see him when he arrived, said we really needed him and all this kind of thing and all, but seems hesitant to put him in there for some reason. Now, they will play on Wednesday, or the Ireland job, if they could persuade him to come back. I'm not too sure where they take him back. That was quite sour when he left. And that didn't end good at all. So I'd be surprised if he went back, Warren. Be very surprised. Ten Hag thought they played well last night. He won't last another 6 months. Well, if he thought they played well last night, he came out and he said they were on the up. Says United are on like an upward trajectory or something like that. And I was there going, oh my God. My God. Getting results, but look at performances. Good Lord. Ollie would also keep one of the bottom four up, I think. Possibly. Hi, Jack. I hope you are well. Nigel, by the way, I'm a massive Bob and Jurgen fan. If you hadn't guessed, absolutely. Who isn't? Who isn't? Listen, you don't even have to be a fan of Liverpool to have been a fan of Bob Paisley if you're a certain age. If you're a certain age or a certain vintage, similar to me and you, Nigel, everyone's a fan of Bob Paisley. He was incredible. I show speed went to Ballon for the day and meet the City players and Hazard, but I felt so bad on video because I didn't recognise him. Recognise that it was him. Yeah, that guy is mad. That guy is mad. Mad. Uh, Brian, I collect G.I. Joe figures. I actually have a G.I. Joe figure up there, Brian, but it's a special edition one from Sergeant Slaughter from the wrestling when they did a G.I. Joe one. It's really cool. Nice though. I like that. I like that. We used to do a show actually on the old channel I was on. We used to have a wrestling show called The Four Podmen, and we used to do a collector's corner. So we'd bring on a guy who's a wrestling fan, and he'd walk us around his collection, and he'd pick out maybe 10 or 12 pieces that are the best pieces in his collection. And he'd talk about how he got into collecting and all that kind of stuff. Some very, very interesting shows. Vardy all stared line to him, saying he isn't mad. I have loads of elites, Hasbro's, LGNs, and the rest. Wow, like that. Redbird's in, my man. Redbird, good to see you. How you keeping? Haven't seen you in a few weeks. Good man. Thanks for dropping in. Messi to go beat the robot Haaland for the Ballon d'Or. City fans in tears. It's going to generate debate, isn't it? It's going to generate debate. What exactly do you have to do? Listen, there's probably more Ballon d'Ors in the reckoning for Haaland anyway, so shouldn't be too worried about it. Ollie would indeed. He is a solid mid-table manager, I think. There you go. Big up, Ted. Check out Ted's channel as well. At Warren, yeah, I am. Thanks, mate. I was so bored on Saturday afternoon without any of your lives. Yeah, Warren shows are great. Everyone loves Warren shows. The banter does be unbelievable. Smash the likes, folks. Smash the likes, absolutely. Brian, what's Ole doing these days? I think he's doing anything. Was he offered a job somewhere in Saudi or something like that and he turned it down, I think? Redbird, so Bob Paisley. Bergie. Well, wiping his arse with £5 million, Brian. Yeah, absolutely. Probably got more than that as well. At Brian Bud Driver, mate, Liverpool's. Sorry, 7.5 million. Yeah, that's what I was saying. More like that, absolutely. Stephen, do you have any Jack's Classic Superstars in the shop? I do, Stephen. I have a whole load of them. Check it out. If you go onto Instagram, Stephen, it's Wrestling Mania Dublin. If you want to shoot me off a DM there, what I'll do is I'll get you pictures. I'm back in on Wednesday. I'll send you pictures of everything we have. Some of them should be up there actually on the timeline as well. But if you check it out, you should see some of them there. There's a good few in there. Some good ones as well. Yo, Redbird from Daz. The Sergeant Slaughter crossover was brilliant. He gave up the wrestling to go full time with G.I. Joe doing the cartoon, etc. Yeah, absolutely. This is a remake of the original one, Brian. If you remember, the original one actually came in a bag, and I think it was a freebie in a comic back in the day, only available in Canada. Explain that to me. A Canadian exclusive Sergeant Slaughter G.I. Joe figure in a bag was a Canadian exclusive. Mad. In my opinion, Alvarez deserved to win because he won the World Cup this season and the treble. And that's coming from a hardcore Messi and Liverpool fan. No argument there. We mentioned him earlier, Jack, before you were on. Alvarez, how was he not in the reckoning for it? And even Rodri, look at the difference Rodri is at upper tier. Consider contacting Gav at LFC Day Trippers and join the panel. Would be great. Yeah, absolutely. If they'd have me on, I'd love to be on. I'm always willing to go on other channels and stuff like that. And anyone who wants to come on here is welcome to come on. Anytime we do content nearly every day, it's good crack and all. And great community here. We're developing in the chat as well. Nice and it's a pleasure to talk to you guys every evening and stuff like that. Really appreciate your support and all. So yeah, if they have me on, I'd definitely be on. Big up Daz, absolutely. Nigel, Liverpool on the up and new Beatles song on Thursday. What's not to like? Absolutely. Stephen, I'll follow you there now. Absolutely. Yeah, no problem, Stephen. Any questions, just hit me up there. Not a problem at all. Thoughts on the boss, Big Dom Niall? Oh, man, we were talking about him earlier, Redboard. It's unbelievable, isn't it? The way he's able to play football in the tight spaces, the way he's able to pick a pass, the aggression that he brings onto the pitch, and I mean controlled aggression, not stupid aggression. Rarely loses the ball, rarely gives a bad pass, rarely coughs up a pass. You know what I mean? He's just everything you want in a player seamlessly after moving into that Liverpool midfield. There's nothing else. There's no more I can praise him with. His social media is fantastic. His outlook on the game is fantastic. He really goes to war every time he's on the pitch. It's just incredible. It's incredible, really, to say it, Redboard. He's just, I can't believe. And I said last week, Redboard, actually on the show, I said it's great at the moment that we're kind of flying under the radar slightly. Not a lot of people are going on about it. But the job that's been done on that midfield this summer by Jurgen Klopp and the way those boys have moved in there has been nothing sort of exceptional. But it's all nice and hush hush, and I like it that way. Let's keep it down there. Let's not draw any extra attention. But Dom has been incredible. Alexis adjusting into that kind of 6-8 role. Really good. Curtis Jones now playing really good football when he's in there with better talent in there. Ryan Gravenberch, he's going to be unbelievable. Look at the movement of him the other day against Nottingham Forest, and just his touch kept on letting him down. If he can figure that out and tighten that up, and he has in previous games and stuff like that, he's going to be exceptional for us. Do you sci-fi collectibles as well, or comics? No, don't really collect comics, Warren. Sci-fi, not a huge amount. I do a little bit. I do have a figure up there, a Robert Patrick figure from Terminator signed by him and stuff like that, and a few other bits, but nothing major. I like I'm big into Star Wars, Warren. Collect a lot of Star Wars stuff. To be glowing the dark ones up there above me and stuff like that and all. But the vast bulk of it would really be wrestling and stuff like that. But if there's any crossover, I actually collect. There's some He-Man stuff up there where they did crossover He-Man stuff with the wrestlers as well and stuff like that. I was a big fan of the Ultimate Warrior and all, so I always collected stuff on Macho Man. But yeah, plenty of crossover. That's why I don't really care about the Ballon d'Or, because it's mostly the big players like Messi and Ronaldo. Yeah, absolutely. But there'll be a change there now. You've got Ronaldo gone off to Saudi, you've got Messi gone off to the MLS. So it's all going to change now. It's going to be interesting next year. You've got Jude, unbelievable. Vinny Jr., unbelievable. And then all these other players coming from the Premier League and stuff like that. So it's going to get interesting. Many thanks, Niall, mods and chat. You'll never walk alone. God bless. Absolutely, Nigel. Thanks for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. Lovely to have you on board. And I loved the Milk Cup. Loved it. Shout out to Nigel for the Milk Cup. Brilliant. My rarest figure is probably the 123 Kid Hasbro or the Dusty Rhodes. Stephen, very nice. You got them loose or you got them boxed? They're worth a few quid, my friend. They're worth a few quid. New Beatles song. I know it's Halloween season, but those lads aren't writing any new songs. Absolutely. So Boss greater than KDB. Well, he is at the moment. Don Pure Glass, in my opinion. Yeah, he's just sensational. In America, they had lots like that. Mail away figures you couldn't buy without sending away for them, with token and certain figures only sold in Walmart, etc. Lots of unique items, yeah. Absolutely. It's a minefield, Brian, isn't it? It's a minefield. If we win the quad this season, I will get Phil Foden's trim. No joke. If you win the quad, why would you be getting Phil Foden's trim? Why don't you get something more unique to Liverpool? Why would you get a Phil Foden trim? So Phil Foden, there's plenty of people going around Phil Foden trims. Poker, it's a new John Lennon song they found. Nice. There you go. There you go. It's from a tape that had for Paul. Yoko gave to Paul. Interesting. There you go. So it's a Beatles song. Dominic Ballon d'Or 2024. Can you imagine? How difficult is it for midfielders to get it? Modric was the last one, wasn't he? Modric, and even that kind of felt like he's an exceptional player, Modric, but even that kind of felt weird, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Like to win a Ballon d'Or as a midfielder. Like you look at Rodri. Look at Rodri. Rodri's probably the best midfielder on the planet at the moment. You know what I mean? And what did he come? I don't know what the final places were. Was Rodri third or fourth or something like that? Who was your favorite wrestler? That's a big question, Stephen. I loved Triple H for years, I have to say. Triple H would have been a big one. I loved Eddie Guerrero. I grew up on Hogan and Macho and Warrior. They were some of the greats. I loved Mr. Perfect. There's so many, Stephen. I could rattle them off. I don't have that one wrestler I go to. I find every year around this time of year with Eddie's anniversary coming up and stuff like that, I have quite an emotional connection into Eddie Guerrero and stuff like that, and also. But he'd be definitely one of them and stuff like that. But hard to know at the moment, you know. Yeah, I'm torn between Hogan and Mick Foley. Yeah, Mick's a good one, but I was never mad into hardcore wrestling, so I was never mad into Mick Foley. So yeah, but I can appreciate everything that he did and the different characters and everything, the rock and sock stuff and all that. Oh, but Hulk Hogan would obviously be a big one for everyone, of course. Ric Flair would be a big one as well, of course. Yeah, I think we did a Mount Rushmore episode, Stephen, there last week, and who would I got on it? I had Hogan, Flair, Cena, and Triple H. That was my Mount Rushmore. How is Charlie Darwin Nunes doing? He's doing well, Warren. He's doing well. Really good. Very different mindset this year as well. He's playing really good football. Tortured Forest yesterday and actually could have bagged a hat trick. To be honest, he was very unlucky. But doing really, he's creating a great partnership with Salah at the moment. They're getting a really, really good understanding. Remember that kind of Bobby Firmino, Salah understanding with Mane and all and stuff like that. They're starting to develop that the more they play together and stuff like that. So, doing really, really well. Really happy with Darwin's progress this season. Favorite Beatle, mine's Lennon. Yeah, has to be Lennon, doesn't it? Has to be Lennon. Easier. I will get that the Gerard Skinhead then. Yeah, about the Gerard Skinhead, yeah. Absolutely. Boat loose, yeah. Unfortunately, Stephen, imagine boxed a 1-2-3 kid and the Dusty Rhodes one box go for serious shekels. How stupid can Arsenal be to turn down and get Odegaard instead? Yeah, the problem with Dominic, I mean, we knew from the highlights and stuff like that he was good, but we never realised he was going to be this good. Let's be honest, we're all shocked by him. We didn't expect this. No one has turned around expecting Dominic to go in there for season in the midfield on a rebuild and be that player and stuff like that. I wouldn't be hating on Martin Odegaard either. I know a lot of people he's had a couple of bad games and stuff like that and all, but Martin Odegaard is a very, very good player, I think. I think people just find it easy to kind of crap on him. They don't like his captain way and stuff like that. They're looking for something different in a captain and stuff like that. But in terms of a midfielder arriving late into the box to score goals, he's as good as most out there. He's had a bad time of it at the moment, but two really good players. They're like a mortgage in the packaging. They are like a mortgage in the packaging. Yeah, you keep them in a safe. Unless the whole lot of them are playing it, then it's not a Beatles song. It's a John Lennon song. Yeah, I'll be so picky tonight now. There's no need for that. Big Daddy. Nigel in with Big Daddy. Yeah, absolutely. Big Daddy enjoying Taystacks World of Sport. How could we forget? How could we forget? El Crabtree himself, yeah. Have his figure here somewhere, actually. Have a figure of Big Daddy here somewhere, believe it or not, Nigel. Yeah, and everyone's coming in with the big daddy. At Warren, would you like at Arsenal? I don't know. It's an interesting one. Joint Haystacks, yeah, remember Joint Haystacks? Kendo Nagasaki, Biff Finley. Ah, so many good ones. Like I got some great. You're saying that, Nigel and Henry as well. I got a bunch of original World of Sport posters into the shop there a few weeks ago. A guy was going into a care home and they were clearing out his apartment. And he had a load of these old original World of Sport posters from the 60s and the 70s and all. Dynamite Kid was featured on them. There was loads of them featured on it. It was, Roach was on them as well. It was unbelievable. This was gold stuff. And we sold them all off for a guy and we moved the money onto him and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. But it was cool to look back at it, real gold. And like this stuff was just unbelievable. This is the last year of Messi, Ronaldo, Ballon d'Or. Absolutely, 100%. Mick McManus, absolutely, Nigel. Mick McManus. It was mad even seeing those old posters. It was like a penny in, and it was 3 pence for ringside. That'll tell you. Should get a Jurgen trim. Jurgen trim. Joint haystacks for Warren, yeah, absolutely as well. Mohammed Hassan. There's a curveball. At Warren, don't have blonde hair, mate. I have brown, black hair. Yeah, well, you could go for the colour as well. Yeah, Ricky Steamboat, Bret Hart, Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, oh my God, the greats, unbelievable. Nunes, absolutely unbelievable at the moment. Get the white suit rather than the haircut. I remember the white suit. Yeah, that's a good show. Yeah, there's a good show for you, Jack. Now you'd have to wear a white suit instead. Go that FA Cup way, and that would be interesting. Al Poker. Not all members of the Beatles play on every track. It features all four. There you go. Do you have a celebrity crush? Celebrity crush. God, I loved back in the day. I loved Pamela Anderson, but who didn't? I used to love Denise Van Outen when she did the big breakfast. Remember Denise Van Outen? Um, Ellen Chamberlain was class when she was doing the soccer stuff with Tim Lovejoy. I loved that as well. Um, yeah, Jennifer Aniston. Um, and R.I.P. Matthew Perry. Good Lord, the other day. That's unbelievable. That's chronological. It is, Brian. Absolutely. Um, I was shocked about Bray and Funk. Yeah, it was very shocking, wasn't it? Hi Henry. Warren, Jack, 100%. I don't rate Odegaard at all. Interesting. At Henry. Niles is Ross Barkley. Ross Barkley. Lord. Could it be any less? Big up, Brian. Stephen, I saw 1 2 3 kid box going for 7K. Yeah, that's massive money. Massive money. They'll definitely use AI to finish that song. Hologram concert, the whole lot, Brian. Um, at Warren, Odegaard is hit and miss for you lot, I would say. Yeah, absolutely. At the moment, anyway, yeah. At upper tier, Guinness or Murphy, Tato or Kyo's, and which flavour? I don't drink either Guinness or Murphy's. Believe it or not, my go-to drink is Bulmers pint bottles. I drink either Bulmers or I like a nice whiskey with ginger ale and lime. They're my kind of go-to drinks, and I'll drink anything kind of sweet like cocktails and stuff like that. Is all good. Tato or Kyo's, definitely Tato. And I would definitely go cheese and onion. But back in the day, I did love burger bites, and I don't know. One of my favorite ones back in the day was Sam Spud's Smoky Bacon. They were my favorite crisps back in the day. But not Guinness or Murphy's. I'm partial now to a baby Guinness. I like them. But let us know, Nigel. Fuck no, I'm not doing my absolutely not. Who was the mass British wrestler? Um, it's a good question. There was a few of them, wasn't there? Kendo Nagasaki was one of them, wasn't he? Oh God, there was a few of them, I think. I bought a classic supersize King Kong Bundy today on eBay. Nice. Nice, I like that. Good choice. They're doing two, didn't they, Stephen? There's two others out there at the moment, King Kong Bundies. They did an exclusive bloody one, and they did a normal one as well. But they're not a classic superstars. They're different. There's some of these legends figures that they do and stuff like that. But I was looking at the two Bundys there about a week or two ago, and they look pretty cool. He ain't captain, and he never turns up in big matches. It's not good enough. Ask Kyle Walsh what he thinks about Odegaard. It will blow up the internet. Kyle's the man, isn't he? Good to see Kyle as well. I think he was back. Wasn't he back on one of Dell's chats or something? And I seen him actually. He was in Lee Gunner's chat there the other day as well. So good to see Kyle back and all. Uh, White suits remind me of the FA Cup with Jamie Redknapp. Yeah, David James, Jamie Redknapp, Fowler. Remember all the boys, Steve McMahon. Oh God, mad. Niall likes blondes, so I am partial to blondes. I am partial to blondes. Yeah, I am. My wife is a blonde, so the gobbledygooker, if anyone remembers him. Yeah, the gobbledygooker. Warren. Yes, Penelope Cruz and Sinead O'Connor. Sinead O'Connor. Wasn't Sinead O'Connor? Remember when she came out first and she had the head shaved and stuff. She was so unique and stuff like that. But she was beautiful. She had those piercing eyes and stuff like that and all. She was just beautiful looking girl and stuff like that. Very sad end, really, Penelope Cruz, yeah. Sweetheart. Absolutely. Nigel's gone with Sporty Spice. Nice. Sporty Spice. Trish Stratus for Steve Dillon. Yeah, great show. Trish Stratus. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. At Warren, that's why I asked you. Don't really watch much Arsenal. That's why I asked you, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Um, where am I? I'm lost here. Brian, I don't drink stout either, but I go Guinness and Tato if that's all that's on offer. Absolutely. There you go, Brian. Kendo Nagasaki. Yeah, absolutely. Henry's what's your schedule for this week, pal? I'm not too bad. Wednesday I have a wrestling show, and Thursday I have Thursday Tier Talk. Friday I'll probably be doing a preview for the Luton game. So somewhere in between that, if you need me, let me know. If you want to put a show together, if you want to do a preview or whatever it is, or a catch up, let me know. Fit it in. Shouldn't be a problem. Mate, next you will be saying get the Gerard skinhead and dye your hair pink. My God. I had you as a definite neat whiskey man, Niall. I will take a neat whiskey as well, Warren. It depends on the whiskey as well. But if I'm out socializing, and I want to stay intact and not get too messy, because whiskey is quite an easy drink for me. I do like, I don't know if you've tried some of the new honey ones and stuff like that. And I had a throwback there the other day as well. I found some Southern Comfort. And that's a real old school. Most of you guys now going out as well, especially of my ilk as well. A Suddy and Red back in the day was quite sweet and stuff like that. But I do like some of those honey ones up there. Darren actually gave me a present of a bottle of whiskey as well. Club Hague, he gave me, believe it or not. I think it's David. Is it David Beckham's whiskey? I think it's David Beckham's whiskey. It's in a beautiful blue bottle and stuff like that. And all, I haven't drank it yet, but I might try it. But yeah, I've uncovered some. But yeah, neat whiskey, absolutely, absolutely. Coyle doesn't like any Arsenal players. Yeah, Japanese guy. Yeah, Japanese guy. Niall, so you like Ben White? I think Ben White's a very good player. I don't know what he was thinking the other day. No, I don't. Oh, you mean the blondes? This was more a silver, wasn't it? Though he was, it just looked blonde when he got soaking wet in that game. But when it started out, it was kind of that silvery look, wasn't it? Like what your man Henry had on Sky Sports. He had that kind of silver look and stuff with the beard and all and stuff. So listen, that's the way it is. They're into their look and stuff like that, and they're probably getting paid handsomely for it. Hogan knows best blondes. Absolutely. Rest in peace, Sinead. Oh, yeah, 100%. Sybil Shepherd was my celebrity crush. Good choice. Good choice. So you were a big, what was that, Moonlighting, wasn't it, with Bruce Willis? Was she in that with him? If I'm right. Because he wears fake tan and got blonde hair. No, thanks. I just did a live about Madeleine McCann as there was a doc tonight. Must check that out. Very interested in that case. Very interested in that case. Um, madness. Interesting. I'll check that out, Henry. Well, where's the doggo, mate? There's one here on the bed fast asleep beside me. This one I'm looking after for my sister-in-law. MJ's her name. The other two are downstairs. They're playing around with the other dogs because it's there's fireworks tonight and stuff like that. So we have the TV on in the dog area and the radio for the dogs to drown out the fireworks. As you know, folks, be careful if you wear a dog owner. I'm sure you know, but fireworks can lead to an instant heart attack with dogs and stuff like that. So be really, really careful over the next few days. SoCo was pure. Southern Comfort is pure syrup. You you taste it for days. You do. Do you remember waking up right after if you had a hangover and stuff like that? No, you could just taste it, and the bubbles of the red lemonade and everything. No, it's mad. It's Mizzy night tonight in Liverpool, Merseyside. Okay. If you get a chance, try a whiskey called Glencoe. It is amazing. I ordered a bottle the other day of the Bill Shankly whiskey, guys. It's on that irishdistillery.ie. They don't have it, I think, on the website yet, but if you order, they sent me the details. I was telling guys during the night in the show. If you order a particular bottle, you can say you want the Shankly one, and they'll send you the Shankly bottle, which is pretty cool. So I ordered that the other day. So if that arrives, I will let you know how it goes. Sexy as hell Sybil was. She was indeed. Niall, you didn't watch the clip what I sent you on Twitter of Alex and his mate having a shadow box each other. I know I didn't, Jack. Do you know something? I clicked on it the other day and I got called away, and when I came back, I had forgotten about it. I'll have a look tonight and I'll let you know, mate. Definitely. Sorry about that. He needs to be careful about what he does. Sam, good player. Good player, Warren. I'm on the Southern Comfort as we speak. There you go. I like that. It's cool, isn't it? I even found the ones. Did you find the ones in the cans, Morris? They do the ones in the cans already pre-mixed with the white lemonade. Questionable about how much alcohol is in them, but they're pretty nice. The mascot just came in. You all right? You all good? Good man. So I like to see. There you go. That's my cue nearly, folks, that I have to go. Cats, the way some people in the chat might dirty minds. We're definitely not a cat family. My mother was allergic to cat hair, so we never had cats. We always had dogs. Great team tune to Moonlight, and yeah, brilliant it is. Yeah, my dog got sick on the rug earlier after fireworks went off, so be very careful. Plenty of water, Brian. Plenty of water. All righty. What's your favorite Royal Rumble? Too sure. That's good. I don't know. I'll come back to you on that one, Stephen. I'm going to the one next year. I'm going to the one in Tampa. I got tickets last week, so looking forward because I couldn't get tickets for WrestleMania. Yeah, speak of the devil angle. Fireworks should be organised displays only, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. We grew up with them. We had fun, didn't we? Nothing wrong with Dirty Mind. It keeps us company at night. As long as it's all encapsulated in the one mind. That's the main thing, of course. Alrighty, let's get ready to rumble. Did you watch the movie, Jack? Ready to Rumble? David Arquette, BDP, and all them. Good movie. Good times. 2000 Rumble, yeah, good shout, Ted. 2000 Rumble was class. Folks, I got to jump off. I will be back. Let me see what else is in here. Nigel, if you like ginger, dry Canadian club and dry ginger, yeah, I'll check that out, Nigel. Actually, I remember I did have a Canadian club. Can't recall it much and stuff like that. I used to work with a guy who loved Canadian club, and he was addicted to it. Now I think I have ADHD. How do you think you have it? I get a random burst of energy in the night. That's probably Jack called sugar or sweets or chocolate or something like that. It's awesome stream now and stay safe and you'll never walk alone. 2006 Royal Rumble, yeah, that's cracker dust. And then the day I'm mostly chilled. It's probably because you eat mostly at night, do you? Probably. Well, folks, cheers. Thanks for joining us tonight. Really appreciate your company as always. We will be back Wednesday with Pro Wrestling Weekly, where hopefully most of you are going to join us because you all sound to be kind of a little bit closety kind of pro wrestling fans or stuff like that. Are we dragging you out in the chat tonight and stuff like that? As always, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, and drop a like on the video. And we will be back on Wednesday. Thursday, Tier Talk with Darren will be back. He'll be giving us his thoughts on the one Manchester derby, no doubt. Friday, I will be doing a preview for the Luton game. I'll probably drop a recorded preview for the Bournemouth game tomorrow at some stage. And as always, folks, stay safe for this Halloween. And as always, don't want any of you guys rocking up here during the week, missing fingers or hands or anything silly like that. Jack, don't worry, we'll make you a fan of wrestling. We'll make you a fan of wrestling. Daz will see me on Wednesday. Cheers, buddy, to you too, mate. Absolutely. CG is in. Niall, read a Shankly whiskey. I ordered mine and it was delivered already. So maybe follow up on yours because I know you ordered yours before I did, as you helped me on how to go about ordering it. How did you find it? Did you have a sip or are you keeping it closed? CG, let me know if you're keeping it closed. Night night, everyone. Interesting to see how it tasted. Sounds good. Warren, you're absolutely welcome. Looking forward to your shows, hopefully this week and stuff like that. Get back at it. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Thanks again. You're welcome, Nigel. Anytime. Great having you on, my friend. Can't stand wrestling, but Niall makes it worthwhile. Wrestling is great, lads. Check out. There's a documentary out there at the moment, WWE Superman. It's about a guy called Vladimir who hasn't missed wrestling in 35 years. And they honoured him, WWE, making him the first WWE Superman. It's quite an emotional story. His mother sadly passed away during COVID and stuff like that. So, and wrestling was the thing that stopped him from committing suicide and stuff like that. So there you go. I've kept it closed so far. There you go. Maybe Christmas CG or New Year's Eve, or maybe keep it for when we win another Premier League title. That would be the way to go. Speak of bed bugs, they have an infestation of bed bugs in France and coming to England. Oh my God. Do you know Anfield Agenda? I do indeed, Steve. I know Craig. Anfield Agenda. See some of his stuff from time to time, stuff like that. And I've conversed with him a little bit as well. Gets a lot of stick, gets a lot of hard time. If you don't like wrestling, you can have a double Stone Cold salute. There you go. I'm going to call out Dazzler for a wrestling match. That wouldn't be a good idea, Jack. Dazzler's a big lad. He's a big lad. I will. Thank you now. Yeah, absolutely. Yups. Till next time, folks. Stay safe. We'll talk to you after Halloween.